I'm Dan Brisebois, and this is the Farmer Spreadsheet Academy. Welcome. So most of my tips have had to do with crop planning and harvest planning. And today we're going to shift a little more to the marketing, specifically to planning out social media, and in this case, Instagram. What we're going to look at in this tip is a combo of two different formulas that you can use together to count the occurrences of something happening inside a cell. So in this case, number of hashtags that you might have in a cell. And let's do counting hashtags. Let's start off by having a brief primer about Instagram in case people on this tip don't know what Instagram is. Instagram is a social media platform, and you have a profile and you post all kinds of wonderful pictures. It's a picture-based social media platform, which means that it's really great for farmers because people love looking at farms. So here we have a number of different posts. Let's say I click on these purple radishes. The post has some text, and then there's what's called hashtags, and that's what's here on the right. These words in blue, these are the hashtags. So let's zoom in on these. The hashtags are ways that I, or whoever's done a post, have chosen to categorize this post. If I were to click on watermelon radish, it's going to show all other posts that people have made tagged with watermelon radish. So in this case, there's 29,000 other posts. Here's the top ones. If you scroll down a little bit further, you see where mine is.
So hashtags are not only a good way to categorize your posts, but also make it easier for other people to discover your posts and therefore expand your audience. Like any other aspect of your farm,
you can plan out your social media strategies.
Why don't we look at a spreadsheet to do just that?
This is a spreadsheet that is used to either keep track of what you've posted on Instagram or to plan forward what you might like to post on Instagram. So there's a first column, that's the date you're planning on posting or posted. The next column is the topic or what was in it. You could have a column with the actual text if you want, though I don't have one in the sheet. And then a column with the hashtags you plan on using or will be using. And the last column, which we'll get back to shortly, is the number of hashtags that are on that post. And so there's a formula set there that we're going to look at in an instant. I mainly use it to keep track of what I've done, and I like to see what hashtags I've used historically so that I can remember what hashtags are out there and use them again. And so here you can see the last, it's been from October 27th through October 30th, what posts I did and what hashtags I used. Let's look at that column D. I mark in red things that are formulas as opposed to in black things that I would enter. So there are two formulas that we're using here. The first one is called LEN and then stuff in between parentheses. And using this formula will tell you the length of text of a string by counting the number of characters in the cell or a string. And then substitute with stuff in parentheses. With this formula, you're going to replace text in a cell or string with different text. The combo of these two is what we're going to use to count how many hashtags we've entered into that cell in our first sheet. Here is a cell that has 4 hashtags in it. Formulas, strings, length, substitute. Hashtags always have the number sign in front of them. You're indicating this is a hashtag. So here there are 4 hashtags that would be with this fictional post. This is cell B5 that we're referring to. So the first part of the formula, LEN and then in parentheses B5, is how many characters are in this. So there's 38 characters in this whole thing. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute in cell B5 all the occurrences of the number sign with nothing. So you see formula, strings, length, substitute. It's just removed the number signs from it. Now the next part of the formula is going to use the LEN to calculate the length of the modified string, so where the number signs were substituted out. That gives us 34 characters in here. So there's 38 characters in cell B5, and then there's 34 characters in cell B5 if you take out the dollar signs. So the last part is subtracting that 38 minus 34 gives you 4. That's the number of number signs that you've replaced. And so you can tell that in this, there are 4 hashtags. So if I was to add another hashtag, number sign farmer, number sign vegetable, number sign tomato, we now have a much longer string. So it's 65 characters, removing all those number signs. And then so gives only 58 characters. So 7 hashtags were used in that cell. Let's go back to that first sheet in cell D2. It shows a combo of this combo we just talked about that refers to cell C2. And as I modify that cell, this will give me different number of hashtags. If you want to keep it on the low end, you'll have a number 5 or 6. And if you want to have more, you can see and make sure you don't top 30. So that was counting hashtags. Thanks for watching. And if you have any crop planning or farm management questions or considerations that you think a spreadsheet would solve, please send me an email or direct message me or leave a comment in any of these posts. Thanks for watching, and see you next week, Thursday at 2 p.m. So in the meantime, happy farming.